Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So just before you kind of go ahead and click dislike or anything along those lines, this is kind of in defense of The Rise of Skywalker, but not. Now, you read from the title, it will make money. This is about the opening weekend of The Rise of Skywalker. Of course it will make money, right? It's not rocket science, yeah? It doesn't mean that it deserves to make money. There's plenty of bad films that do make money, and there's plenty of good films that don't make money. However, we know this is going to make money, okay? And this whole video is about the tracking of The Rise of Skywalker, the ticket pre-sales, the tracking, and the predicted amounts, and people's very blinkered bias towards, I guess, mass hatred for this film. So much so that they just, strangely enough, refute just kind of normal mathematics, basically. Real basic facts, I guess you could say. So I'm not out and out defending The Rise of Skywalker, but, you know, I just want to bring you an opposing opinion that I feel is kind of needed and a little bit justified, because you will receive in your subscription boxes many videos, you've probably already seen them, saying that the shill media are defending The Rise of Skywalker, or its projections and its predictions are it's going to tank, or it's going to make money, but it's not going to, I don't know, some kind of nonsense, basically. Now, this movie will make money. It's not a revelation to anyone. However, those with a mass bias towards hating this film, and it really is a bias towards hating the film when all you're doing is quite literally just denying mathematics, we'll just say that it's like shill media or Disney buying things and whatever. Regardless of whether you hate the film or not, because I'm the first one to admit that I think this movie looks poo, because it really does. I think it genuinely looks a bit poo. A lot of it's rehashed and things like this, and it even occurred to me recently, we had some rumours that Snoke was a clone and things like this, and it was just kind of like, well, who's he a clone of? For starters, it's all well and good saying that we got loads and loads of clones of Snoke, but who's he a clone of? Not only that, there's also the other thing of, like, you know, if he's a clone of Palpatine, that's fine, but then he was around long before. There's just so many inconsistencies. Apparently he's more powerful than Darth Sidious, but he's not, because he is Darth Sidious. There's just so many inconsistencies. So this whole movie does look poo. I'm the first to admit it, but I'm also the first to admit that there's still a huge interest in it, and it will still make a ton of money, because this movie's not for me anymore. You know, it's for other people. It's not for the old generation of Star Wars fans, even though I guess they're kind of catering it towards that. But all of the older sort of Star Wars fans, unfortunately, and a certain subsection of those fans, I guess the fandom per se, if you want to call it that, a particular group are very blinkered in their bias, and even when it's just very clear cut as day, they will try to spin this as you know, a huge negativity. And I guess I'm, you know, some could say I was, you know, kind of guilty of this myself, but putting spins positively on things. You know, a lot of people claim for Godzilla King of the Monsters I was putting positive spins on it, even though I had direct studio sources that indicated to me they weren't hugely disappointed with the numbers. It wasn't a good box office number, but they weren't disappointed with it, which was a really important thing to discern. But anyway, like I said, all of this is over the projections. All of this is over the projections and the reports that are coming out about it. Now, again, you would have seen the videos. I'm sure there's numerous up there, but I just want to put it out there that, you know, from a centrist kind of, you know, logical perspective on this, you can't really spin it any negative way. You just can't. And this article, you know, I get, you know, some various reports from this website here and there every now and then, but I do feel this article is very disingenuous, and I feel that every video you would have seen outside of this one is probably going to have been disingenuous. And I'll explain why as I go through it. Now, this says a new report details that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker advanced ticket sales are not overly robust. But again, that's somewhat misleading, isn't it? Because it's actually, advanced ticket sales are strong, but not overly robust. So they're strong ticket sales, and that's on Deadline. They've got good ticket sales, right? Strong. They've got good ticket sales. And regardless, you know, you will remove the tinfoil hat territory from the whole thing and say, you know, oh, it's all Disney this and Disney that. We know it will make money, okay? It's going to make money. Now, Deadline then further clarifies and says, meaning in the way that they were for 2015's Force Awakens and 2017's Last Jedi, which took 250 million and 220 million respectively on its opening weekend. That's good ticket sales. That's really, really good ticket sales. But somehow, somewhere along the line, people are spinning this as it's shill media. It's just basic mathematics. You know, we don't know the budget for this film, okay? But if this film was to take, I don't know, anywhere in the region of 200 to 250 million domestic, right? Then it had a Chinese opening of, I don't know, say, roughly around a similar amount. Because China's an equal market now. And I don't know if it's getting a Chinese release. But we're just positing a theory here, right? Just for argument's sake. And then say it took 100 million in the UK. It's like $500 million. You know? Right there. I mean, that surely would be close to its production budget. And that's not even taking into account Europe and the other territories and things like this. It will take very, very close, if not its production budget in its opening weekend. It's unlikely to do. And if not, it will be doing it around the 2-week period. Right? It will make money. Of course it will. And you don't have to be a fan of the film to even see that. Like, it's just basic logic. In fact, Deadline reports the average estimate for this film is 205 million. So there you go, opening weekend. However, one tracking firm estimates that it could only bring in 175 million. You've got to remember, ladies and gents, this is just domestic. Just domestic. It's going to be opening elsewhere as well. It will make a lot of money on its opening weekend. Now, The Hollywood Reporter, this is where they say that it's kind of shill media anyway. The Hollywood Reporter would reiterate Deadline's reporting, noting that the film is set to open to at least 175 million to 200 million in its domestic debut over the December 20th to 22nd weekend. However, The Hollywood Reporter would attempt to spin the low forecast, saying that they are on par with early forecasts for Star Wars The Last Jedi and Star Wars The Force Awakens. But I mean, they are, aren't they? You know, 175 million to 200 million is a range. And you've got to remember, these are just predictions. They're just projections. The ticket sales themselves are actually strong, but not overly robust. But apparently the ticket sales themselves are very reminiscent to The Force Awakens. So, projections to one side, the physical ticket sales seem to be very similar to The Force Awakens. Right? So, when we then go down here to projections, we're just talking about theories. You know, it's a predicted amount. But if the actual ticket sales are strong, you're looking at a pretty good opening weekend regardless. And again, like I say, you know, you got these people saying, the shill media is out in full. Shill mode ready to defend this film. I'm the first to say this film looks poo. But to say that it's not going to make money and to say that, you know, the ticket sales look strong, 200 million is a good amount. Of course it's going to make money. What are you talking about? You delegitimize your own argument by saying, oh, it's shill media. It's just basic mathematics. You don't act like, you're not, I assume you're not stupid. I assume you have basic mathematical skills, right? It's going to make money. Now it says, as for the Hollywood Reporter's spin, the facts don't actually match up. And again, this is where we get into the kind of predictions here. Box Office Pro predicted that Star Wars The Last Jedi would bring in 215 million at the opening weekend. That's 15 million more than the high-end projection that THR gives for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. That's a significant change and not on par with The Last Jedi forecasts. It's just forecast, mate. If the ticket sales that Deadline are stating, the actual physical ticket sales look strong, then it looks like a strong film. Looks like it will open strong. They predicted the film would make 185 to 225 million in its opening weekend. Losing 25 million on top of that is not a good sign. Anyone fooling themselves that this film won't make money is like completely blinded by their hatred for the franchise and hatred for Disney. I'm not saying it deserves to make money, but it will make money. It's like Captain Marvel, right? That film didn't deserve to make money. It did make money. Of course it did. It still had its audience. Anyway, and again, just to kind of further reiterate, I think when it's so blatantly that you are just blinkered by your own hatred, you do delegitimize your own argument. I'm the first person to admit, that I think this film's poo. But I'd also be the first one to admit if I watch it and it's good. And the evidence is right there. Mandalorian, I did some videos on that. I thought it was shaping up to not be particularly good. Trailer, I was like, it looks okay, but calm down. Because, you know, anyone can cut an action trailer together and make it look good, but we don't know yet, so just calm down. Came out. I love it. I've just watched episode 5. I absolutely love this show. Shazam. I hated that. I hated everything to do with that film before it came out. Watched it. Loved it. Literally one of the first things I said in my review. But the fact is, when you double down so much on your hatred for these things, you've got no credibility at all. Especially so much... You've really got no credibility if you're sat here saying that 200 million is not a good opening weekend in one market. 200 million is a fantastic opening weekend in one market. That's great. That's really, really good. So anyway, thought I'd just do this video. I know I'll get a bunch of dislikes, a bunch of hatred, but hey, look, needs to be said. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do click that like button. Please do share it. If you are new here, hit subscribe and all that good stuff. And also, if you want to support the channel further, check out my merch underneath every single video. We've got Space Jasper merch, which is my boy, Jasper. You can get some Space Jasper merch. And that's about it, really. Anyway, guys, I've been Mr. Age. Take care.